Hello, I'm Pip Courtney. Welcome to A Taste of Landline, where we take you across the country to showcase the very best in food, fibre and more. Coming up, growing an Aussie appetite for goat.
Texturally, it's more, I would say, close to lamb than anything else, but the flavour slightly more gamey, but it is a very, very versatile meat.
Working farms which double as campgrounds.
We've met some particularly great people, and from all walks of life doing all sorts of things, and we meet them on a good day.
And Tassie Bubbles, taking on champagne from Champagne.
Hello, I'm Courtney Wilson. Traditionally, graziers who have had to bolster their businesses have got second jobs or planted crops or maybe offered agistment. Nowadays, there are plenty of unique ways to diversify on farms, and one that's growing in popularity is camping. There's not a screen in sight. Good old-fashioned fun is the only thing on the agenda here. It's what camping is all about. But this isn't in a national park nor a bushland reserve. These campsites are actually on a working farm.
That's been more important than what we thought. We just thought, sit down, listen to the birds, see the animals, and that is important too. We weren't trying to hide the fact that we're a working property, but we were trying to put our camping in our forest country and our cattle in our cattle country. But people are fascinated by farms, and they're particularly fascinated by family farms.
Moe Amba is the epitome of a family farm. First and foremost, it's a cattle property, running about 200 head of Black Angus across 1,600 hectares. About 3.5 hours from Brisbane, but just over the border into New South Wales. This landscape is the northernmost part of the New England High Country, and it's been home for Stuart and Wendy Bell and their two kids, Emily and Matthew, for 18 years. But for the last 5 years or so, the Bells have been busy diversifying their on-farm businesses to include camping.
We just love the property so much. We wanted to do something that didn't have high impact on the property and wanted to share what we have here, just hoping that people would be interested in not only the farm side of things but also the bush and the forest, and just enjoying the quietness and the solitude of it, I suppose.
Don't be fooled by its laid-back charm though. This is no small affair.
And so we're here.
Yep.
Yes, so you're heading out to the Stormbird, which is this one here.
Fully booked out, it's between 300 and 400 people, so it's a lot. But when they're spread out through these camp areas, it doesn't feel like a lot of people. And a lot of people will say, oh, you must have 50 or 60 people here. And we'll say, no, there's 400. And they say, oh, really?
Bush camping on the Bells sprawls across about half their property. They did that intentionally, but it's meant a lot of hard work to get the campsites properly established.
This country up here has got a whole lot of different aspects to it, and we sort of wanted the campsites to show those aspects. And there's some on the creek, some in a forest, some out on the edge of our mountains, some in different areas of wetlands. And so by doing that, we've had to have multiple toilet facilities or amenities. And so we've got 4 separate toilet areas, amenity areas, and 4 different septic areas. And so we've had to get water to that and do that and have it all passed by council. But now that it's done, we're really happy that we've gone that way.
And so are their guests. It turns out toilet blocks are a big deal when it comes to keeping the weekend camping market happy.
To have flushing toilets and good showers, bit of a walk, who cares? It's good exercise.
The Williams family first visited in 2017 after stumbling across the Bells' bush camping experience on the internet. They loved it so much they've been back 7 times since.
So what is it about
bush camping in a setting like this that appeals to you?
Peace and quiet. No one right there, no ropes to trip over, just ours.
There's a lot of space between all the campsites so the kids can play soccer, cricket, ride their bikes.
Yeah, I love cricket.
The kids get to see where their food comes from, but 2 weeks ago we were here and the kids got to see Stuart and Wendy and Matt mustering, so that was good.
Yeah,
Who needs a TV?
part of the appeal of farm camping is the chance for people to get off the grid and really experience the bush. But on big properties like this one, where there can be several kilometres between campsites, there are risks to consider. And one of them is bushfire safety. The Bells worked closely with the Rural Fire Service to make sure their campsites are properly maintained and to develop worst-case scenario plans in the event of an emergency.
We've got policies in place here for emergencies, mainly a bushfire.
There's been other considerations too, like adequate insurance coverage on what is, after all, a working farm.
Insurance doesn't negate your responsibilities for negligence. You still have to be careful about everything you do. You still have to be aware that even though this is camping, so dams don't have to be fenced, but you have to tell people when they're coming here that there are waterways here, you know, kids can get into, and they have to be aware of that.
The camping business is growing in popularity, both on the Bells Place and more broadly. Tenterfield Shire Councillor Gary Very wants to see much more of it across the region.
You can have ecotourism, you can have camping, you can have whatever you like. Also, once you get a certain number of tourists in the district, you start attracting cottage industries. Look around Stanthorpe, you know, you've got soap manufacturers, you've got wineries, you've got breweries, and that's the type of thing we want to see around Tenterfield.
Being somewhat off the beaten track, but still within a comfortable driving distance of major cities such as Brisbane and the Gold Coast, puts the Bells' bush camping experience in a bit of a Goldilocks zone for attracting weekenders. That's been really important for getting regular customers.
We've come out from Brisbane, yeah, so we left about 3 hours ago, so it was a good drive out here. And yeah, we came out here because we didn't want to handle the traffic of the Sunshine Coast or down at the Gold Coast, and we just wanted to somewhere peaceful, and we found this place on the internet, so we thought we'd give it a go.
Wendy Bell says for now, just relaxing in the great outdoors is the main reason people come to stay. But there are plans for other attractions to keep them coming back.
We've got someone who is looking at helping us with mountain biking, another way of enjoying what we have here, enjoying the peace and quiet in the bush. That can be combined, we're hoping, with, if we've got mountain biking trails, they can also be used for people bushwalking. We have lots of bird watchers.
More traditionally, graziers have chosen to bolster their businesses by getting second jobs or planting crops as well, or maybe offering agistment. For the Bells, it's been camping that's helped keep their relatively small family farm profitable.
Before the camping, this place wasn't a full-time job. It was in work, but in money, it wasn't a full-time job for 2 or 3 people. So yes, we've created more work, but then that's what we're here for.
The Bells believe the growing popularity of camping presents farmers with a unique opportunity. But they warn it's not easy work. It's relentless, and sometimes actually running the farm has to take a back seat.
Would you want on the big 5 pit or the little one?
No, I think we'll give that one a go.
Yep. It's going to impact on your cattle management and your timing. It's going to be a constant thing.
Would you go there or would you go there?
Well, you can use either.
Okay.
You know, it's going to be everything from chatting to people to cleaning toilets. It's the whole gamut of service industry.
We've invited people here and we want to make sure that we do look after them. So yes, there's firewood, there's ice, there's making sure they get to the right campsite. We spend a lot of time doing those sorts of things.
But as with all hard work, they say the rewards make it more than worthwhile.
We've met some particularly great people and from all walks of life doing all sorts of things, and we meet them on a good day. The idea of getting and seeing Australia is a growing thing, and the market is big.